50% 200.
That's the sound of a crisp 200th episode. High five.
How do we do it?
I actually don't know. 200 without missing, might I add, a week. Without missing a bloody week. We've somehow cobbled together 200 episodes weekly for three and a half years now.
3.5 years.
God damn.
4 years in June.
This is ridiculous. When will we stop? When will this end?
Never.
Please tell me sometime soon.
We can wank ourselves off for 2 seconds. Yeah, we're the best. We're the goats. We did it without any appreciation.
But fact is, this isn't actually the 200th episode.
No.
This is the 202nd episode of the podcast. But the 200th episode was the Church on Ruby Road review.
Which we haven't even seen yet.
Which we haven't seen yet by the time we're recording this episode. But it's literally, this episode has come at the worst time. It's come at a time, like obviously we needed to focus our Ruby Road review on Ruby Road. Mm-hmm. And then also like we're having to pre-record this almost a month out or like 3 weeks out because I'm going away, you're taking a break. Mm-hmm. So like this isn't even a fresh episode. Because we're having to pre-record this, we're having to pre-record like 3 other episodes as well.
It's
so
insane.
It's kind of been rammed into this shooting block that we've been doing over the last couple of days, I guess.
Yesterday we filmed 2 episodes. Was that yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday we filmed 2.
That felt like an eternity.
We're filming
away.
1 today. We're filming one on
Thursday and one on Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, because next, for context, in a week's time today, it's Christmas.
Yes, and in a week's time, in 2 days, I'm flying out to Japan.
It's all happening at once.
It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
So yeah, congratulations to us for doing 200 episodes.
Did you bring a cake for us?
Was I supposed to?
I just thought it might have been nice.
I get like 200 isn't as cool as like 100.
No, it's a bit lame. Connor made me put up a button-up shirt, and I wasn't really feeling it, so I had to go get changed.
Sorry.
No, I was feeling it, but I was like, I'd said to Connor, I'd put on some nice shorts rather than my usual just like elastic waist shorts. These are nice like chino jean short things.
Jorts. Jean shorts. Jorts.
But I just did this for Connor so that he feels good.
I'm dressed as Shitty Gatwa.
Yeah, seriously, he's just wearing his underpants under the table. You can't see that.
I hope you can't see it, yeah.
It's just his underpants.
Just me and my bulge.
He's packing. Depends
who you ask.
Today, it's been a while since we've done one of these, but we do. We do Who to Be Buried With, which is a play on Brett Goldstein's Film to Be Buried With, which is basically where we invite guests on. We tell them they've died, and then we like to speak to them, ask them about their lives through the medium of Doctor Who. Right? And at the end of the day, we find out if they're getting into heaven or hell, but based on their Doctor Who opinions.
I mean, we're interested enough to do this.
We are. So we turned the tables on us to celebrate 200 episodes, and we're going to be answering this with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to answer the questions that we always ask the guests. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Dylan as well. They really wanted to mediate this for us, but we just, with all the way that we've had to cram these blocks together.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they reached out to me, and I felt bad because it's been a while since we've had Dylan on the show, and Dylan was one of our very first listeners, and then was one of our very first fans, and then became the first fan.
The first, yeah.
And then became a very good friend. So there we go.
Sorry,
Dylan, but we'll get you on sometime.
There's always 2024.
There is. We'll get Dylan on.
We'll get it.
For that.
We'll get it doing.
A little bit of housekeeping, though. If you like what you hear and you're not subscribed,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Subscribe.
We've done 200 episodes. Haven't we earned our 10,000 hours?
Honestly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor, on TikTok at 50Doctor Doctor Who,
and the TARDIS
by Craig Earl.
Yep.
Did you used to follow that page on Facebook back in the day?
Doctor Who and the TARDIS?
Yeah.
What, on Facebook?
Yeah.
Probably.
It was Doctor Who and the TARDIS by Craig Earl. That was like an OG Doctor Who fandom Facebook page.
Now it's Doctor Who.
Now it's just TARDIS posting. That's all I'm.
There's other ones that you always send me like screenshots of how cringe it is.
Yeah, I won't name them because sometimes it is like a nice boost of positivity, but sometimes it's also extremely cringy.
Once in every like 10th post, there's a nice one.
Well, it was like during 13's era, I got so sick of just seeing beef online that I genuinely just wanted to see cringy people loving 13's era, and so that's why I jumped onto a bunch of really cringy.
I don't care what anyone says. I love this era.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah,
and that's okay. But yes, okay. Now that we've got all that little housekeeping out of the way, my parents finally watched the 60th specials.
I'm dying to hear about this.
Not the Giggle. We've still got to watch the Giggle, but I'm not going to dive deep into what experience was like watching them with them.
That's not all of it then.
No, that's in the first 2. Okay, but we watched them back to back.
Mm-hmm.
We finished the Star Beast. Mum said,
Put on the next one. Put it on now.
Well, no, they both said that was really good. They said that was good. No, Dad said that was good. Mum said that was too fast. Okay, and then we watched Wild Blue Yonder. Dad said Bernard Cribbins. That was really good.
Mum
And then
said that was too slow.
she said I didn't like how I had to think so much.
Oh my god.
But I did love my dad's reaction when he saw Wilf. It wasn't even Wilf. He literally, like, Wilf came on screen and he went, Bernard Cribbins! He was just happy to see Bernie.
Yeah. And
So-
then that's it. So
Yeah.
no more Bernard
No
either.
more Bernie had to break their hearts. And then by the time Wild Blue Yonder ended, Dad was like, can we put on the third one? Can we put on the third one? I really want to see the third one now. It was a really good cliffhanger. And Mum was like, no, I'm tired. I've been thinking too much.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it. What do I think of all the stretchy, the jaw, and all that kind of thing?
I don't think either of them were that much of a fan of that, but that's okay.
And huge David Tennant and huge Matt Smith and Catherine Tate.
I'll let you know what they think of that, of the giggle, once we watch that. Anyways, Connor, 200 episodes.
Oh,
Got to have a lovely celebratory drink.
thank you so much.
Except for the 100th episode, we had some really nice champagne, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I've done for this?
Yellow champagne.
Well, as you know, I'm going away soon, so saving money.
Yes, that's fine.
What's the cheapest celebratory drink you can possibly find?
Like yellow, pink.
Passion
Pop.
Passion Pop.
Yeah.
Good old Aussie
Take
celebratory
me back
drink.
to my early days.
$8 gets you pissed when you're 12. This is the shit, all right?
Wow, Passion Pop.
Is Passion Pop a Australian thing, or is
I
that
think it's
like
Australian.
Yeah,
It's got. I like how it's got a plastic cork.
oh, it
They're
does
that
too.
fucking cheap.
Well,
They
to
don't
be
even
fair-
put in a.
For $8.
You get a plastic cork.
That's all right.
That's how. You get your money's worth with Passion Pop.
You do. You definitely do.
Man, you'd always hear at school like, "Oh, so and so on the weekend had too much Passion Pop, and she ended up like
Yeah, it was
dying
Passion Pop or Goon.
or goon."
Yeah, for the blokes it tend to be Goon. For the girls it tend to be Passion Pop.
Good old days. Ready?
Hey!
200.
Whenever you
200.
go, hey! I always get the time loop from the lodge just stuck in my head.
Hey!
I don't know what it is.
Hey!
All right, let me pour you a good old glass
Thank
of Passion
you.
Pop.
You know I love Passion Pop.
Start the celebrations going.
Oh,
We will start talking about some Doctor Who stuff soon, but it's 200 episodes.
it's like pure battery acid, and I love it.
I love it so much.
I'll wait to toast to you.
Oh fuck! I've made a mess already. Never mind.
Oh, battery acid.
Battery acid. Get that battery acid in me, please. Please,
All
please,
right.
please, please. I've not poured this one well. Hold on. Do you drink champagne on Christmas Day?
Bucks Fizz. Yeah.
Mimosas.
Mimosas, yeah.
Mimosas.
We call them Bucks
Champagne
Fizz.
and orange juice.
Yeah, Bucks Fizz.
Yeah, we did a friend Christmas thing on the weekend, and so
The Friendmas.
friendmas. So by 10 a.m. I'd had 5 mimosas.
Fucking hell. Why do we start so early?
Well, we started at 8. 'Cause
AM?
We do like a breakfast and Secret Santa and things like that.
That's pretty early.
Yeah, and then you kick on throughout the day. But I had to race off to go see Love Actually in concert. So, anyways, cheers to 200.
And many more.
Any more? Hopefully not too many more though.
Bit depressing.
Yeah, I'm
Ugh.
kidding. Oh, no, that's good.
Ooh.
Don't even. Did you like the champagne we had on the 100th episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Because it was fucking good.
you're just too adult for this $8 Passion Pop now. For this teenage girl's drink.
Oh, it generally tastes like
I can't even get the cork back in.
battery acid. It's like flat.
It's not flat.
It tastes flat though.
I literally bought this an hour ago.
I know, but it tastes flat.
You taste flat. Okay, Connor, I hate to be that guy, but to keep the show on track, I do have to say, I know you have a birthday gift for me in the house.
Oh, yeah, shit.
I don't want to be that guy that has to ask for it, but I feel like happy
Happy
birthday me. Wow. This
you-
really is a celebratory episode, isn't it?
Well, your birthday is at Christmas.
Yeah,
well-
so it's got a Christmas bag on it.
Do you want to know the truth? I ran out of wrapping paper.
Well, usually you just use alfoil.
Oh, shit, I didn't think of that.
God, you idiot.
I couldn't get what I wanted to get you.
Right, what did you want to get me?
Underwater Menace.
Ah, that's fine.
But they didn't sell it at JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't think it's out yet. in
And I
Australia.
knew that if I would order it from Amazon, you wouldn't get it till you came back from holiday. So it was
Right.
like, what would be the point of that?
So what have you done?
Happy birthday. I need to say Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. Hope you like it. I'm sure you will.
I can feel it.
I can't tell if you enjoyed it.
I feel it in my fingers. I
Feel it in my toes.
Oh,
Christmas all
Ops.
around me.
Oppenheimer on 4K. That's lovely. That is very cool.
You know it's going to look great.
I know it will look
And that's
bloody
the
great.
main thing.
That's amazing. No, and genuinely, like, because I watched it in the theater, and I remember, I don't know if you remember, I watched it in a really late session.
Yes.
And so I've been saying I need to rewatch it because I really liked most of it, but there was times
Yeah.
where I felt like I just needed to, I was too tired to process what was going on.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the rewatch is here. I'm very happy with that. That's great. That's a great win.
I had a feeling you'd like, because I just knew it would look fantastic on 4K.
On the
And
big 8K screen.
On the 8K. I mentioned that, and so I was vlogging when I went to go get it, because I went to go get you Doctor Who, and I was like, I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So I got you that, and I was like, Aiden will love it on his 8K TV.
That's lovely.
And I think it just came out, so.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Yeah, now I just need
I
Barbie.
thought you'd love it.
And then I can have the Barbenheimer complete
You
collection.
need to do it, yeah. The Shooty collection.
The Shooty's not in Oppenheimer, but that's okay.
He should have been.
He should have been.
But yeah, enjoy. I'm sure you'll enjoy that once you get back from holiday or for the Christmas break.
That's lovely. As the cover says, one of the best movies of the century.
They got to sell it somehow.
They do. They do.
I love how it comes with the 4K disc and the Blu-ray disc.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you just buy the Blu-ray if you don't have a 4K player? It's like, or a 4K TV.
It's really good as well. Usually this is a fun fact for the UK listeners, is whenever I've been to the UK, maybe it's changed in recent times, but almost every time you'll buy a Blu-ray DVD, Blu-ray movie, it will come in like a cardboard slip package,
Yes.
like what this has here.
Yeah.
But in Australia, nothing. They manufacture them as cheap as possibly can. You never get... It's so rare to find like steelbooks of stuff these days. If they do, it's an extremely limited run.
Well, that's why I tried to get you the Steelbook,
Yeah, I know, but this is still great.
and they didn't have it.
This is still great.
So I was like, I guess that'll do. It would have
what I'm saying
taken time,
is
though.
that this is in a slipcase, and it's just so rare that Australian
Well, that's
Blu-rays
good, at
come in a
least.
slipcase. That was always my favourite thing of going to the UK. I'd come back with awesome slipcase Blu-rays.
I thought it looked cool, so I was like, yeah, fuck it. And it just came out, and yeah, for the third time, you do know it's going to look fucking great.
I know,
So at least a Nolan film, you know it's going to look amazing.
I'll get the surround sound going.
Oh yeah.
Crank the dialogue volume as far as I can.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Thank you,
Wake up
sir.
the neighbours. That's okay. My pleasure.
So, oh shit. Oh no.
Not again.
No, Connor, I should have mentioned this at the top of the show. Oh, bro. I'm so sorry. You're dead.
No.
You are.
And you. I'm calling you out as well.
Fuck, we're both dead?
Yeah.
We are both dead.
Yes.
I just thought you were dead.
Well, you wouldn't be able to see me if I was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you're seeing me means you're dead too.
Right.
You're a ghost seeing another ghost.
Jesus Christ.
Trippy, right?
That is nuts. So we're both dead. Connor, how did you die? Or did we die together? What's the origin story here?
Oh, God. How I died. I think that I had a tremendous night out at the pub with all my friends and family, and I just don't wake up in the bed. I just happen to pass on in the night.
Is that the way that you want to go?
No.
Oh, okay.
God, no.
How do you want to go?
How do I want to go? Not in pain, but ready to go and surrounded by the people that I love. Alonzi,
Yeah, like David.
kind of thing.
You don't want to be. I don't want to go.
Just surrounded by the people that I love. Death is actually my biggest fear.
Right.
I don't know if I say that a lot, but
No, you
I'm
don't.
terrified about it. So if I can make it the least amount of stress as possible, and maybe pump me with some morphine, crack
that
me a
Morpheus
beer,
in you.
I'm ready to go type of shit. Play Doctor Who in the background as everyone's saying goodbye to me, and that's it.
What episode of Doctor Who?
Of what?
Of Doctor Who would you have on in the background whilst you're dying?
Oh, Empty Child Lots of Dances.
Yeah, right. Nice.
How can I not go out to the best episode of all
But
time?
it's a bit doom and gloom for your last.
It's my death.
Yeah, sure. Do what you like.
What about you? How do you die?
I think I died filming this podcast, and we did 6 in a day to build up. Now, like next year, 2025, I go to insert holiday here,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden we've got to cram like 6 podcasts into like 2 days. And I think we just sit in this room, we record 6 episodes back to back in the middle of summer, and I think I just get heat stroke in this fucking office.
I was going to say, that would be a good call to say you got heat stroke.
Office/studio/gym gets ridiculously hot when the aircon's not pumping, and we have to turn the aircon off for audio.
Yeah, be happy with the audio.
So it gets very hot. So I reckon I just get heat stroke from sitting in here chatting about Doctor Who.
I thought you were going to say I die in a ski accident, because we all know you're going skiing in a couple of days. So
yeah, there's that too.
You could hit your head on a rock or something. I hope not, obviously.
Post-COVID, my biggest fear of death is flying for some reason. Like I said this, I think, pretty recently on the pod, but I used to be so okay with flying. But then, I was grounded for a couple of years during COVID. And now, like, I get on planes and I'm like, look at this fucking death capsule.
I had that, yeah. I think I've always had that. It's scary.
Yeah.
And it's a long flight to Japan as well. So.
It is. Well, you're in luck, Connor.
Uh-huh.
Because there is a heaven.
Wow.
Wowee, look at this heaven. It looks exactly like our studio.
Heaven is a place on earth, I guess.
It is. And it's filled with all of our favourite things, which is Doctor Who.
Wow.
Wow, and alcohol.
Wow.
Wow, Doctor Who and alcohol.
Okay.
Right, and the people that are there, usually it's me and you greeting us at the gates, but I guess this is the origin story for me and you at the gates.
It's how we became St. Peter.
It is how we became St. Peter. Peters.
Yeah.
So, and so the old St. Peters, who we were about to replace to become Who to Be Buried With hosts, they want to get to know us through our life in Doctor Who.
Okay.
Now, Connor, let me ask you this.
Yep.
Do you believe in an afterlife? What do you think happens when you die?
Well, that's a huge fear of mine. And I guess who am I to say, really? I am personally an atheist.
Yeah.
Hope that doesn't offend anybody. I don't want there to be anything after we die, because the whole idea of that seems absolutely terrifying to me.
Yeah.
But do I think that in like the great grand scheme of things, like our conscious to an extent lives on? I guess I do kind of believe in that. I guess in an extent I do believe in like a higher power, that there is more out there, but I don't personally associate that with a god. So I guess I can't really believe in an afterlife in like a religious sense.
Yeah.
But I think we're all just like atoms, aren't we? So I think there is a possibility that like, I might get recycled as a tree.
That'd be good.
Or something like that.
It could be a tree.
Or a speckle of like sand on a beach. But I'm not conscious. But before I pass, I'm aware that it's going to happen.
You're about to become sand.
Yeah, but in a nice way.
Coarse and rough.
Yeah, it gets everywhere, kind of that thing. Because like, you are just like atoms, and if I want to just be cremated, don't cremate me.
Don't cremate me.
I will, if I'm put in like the sea or something, become like fish food, which means I'm going to be eventually probably cooked and eaten by someone else. So it's kind of weird in a way if you think about it. It's a big rabbit hole, but I guess that's what I think happens, but it terrifies me.
Interesting.
And what about you?
I think there's nothing.
I hope so.
I'm hopeful. No, I hope there is something more. I'm not religious either. I'm not like, I don't have I have hard thoughts against some religious systems. But I am hopeful that perhaps there is something out there that does give us something after life, because the thought of death is just miserable, isn't it?
It is.
It's just like, it just makes you feel like nothing, and
yeah.
Yeah, I in the scheme of things, like no one remembers anyone from 200 years ago, unless you were like a really famous painter or something,
or a
like
writer,
that.
or an author.
So obviously we'll live on through this podcast.
I actually think we will
in 200 years' time.
That's think we will.
Someone will find us in 200 years' time and be like, "Wow, this is great."
The archive.
But yeah, I do. It's like what I was saying about David and about Matt and Peter, if they were going to be in Wild Blue Yonder or not. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm going to go in assuming that there is nothing. And if there is something, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Yeah?
It is scary that like it's the one thing no human being can escape is death.
Yeah. It's crazy like when you hear stories of like people that died.
I know what you're going to say, yeah.
They like woke up, like some people woke up like chained to like a wall. And then...
what, after they died?
Yeah, and then he like re-woke up. Like I remember there's this one video of a guy saying he like woke up chained to a wall with like fire underneath him and stuff. and then like a hand reached down and grabbed him, and that's when he came back to life.
Wait, was
And
he
then
a bad
changed his
man?
life around. I think he was like a slightly dodgy guy. Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there is, to an extent, a heaven and a hell.
could be. This also could have been a guy just chatting absolute shit. So
I'm always worried that, like, I'm not a bad person, but, like, you know, you always do some things that are a bit, like,
yeah,
silly, I guess, when
Yeah.
you're young and stuff.
I
You know, like drinking and stuff. I wonder if that's like a
That's fine.
sin.
nah, drinking's fine. If drinking's a sin, then this podcast has fucked our lives up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it is a sin to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, not to me.
Huh.
And I'm God.
I don't want to go into heaven under those rules.
No, they're lame rules, right?
So I guess I'll be eternally in heaven. Hell, sorry. I guess.
Okay, Connor. The people in heaven, they're going to start questioning us now
Okay.
to,
All right,
to
St.
find out our
Peter's.
place. All right, St. Peter's, we're ready to answer your questions, all right?
I'll do it.
The first thing that they want to know about us, Connor, is what was the first episode you ever saw?
That's a great question, Peters.
And some listeners may know the answers to a lot of these questions already, so...
I first watched Doctor Who in 2005 with the reboot called Rose, written by Russell T Davies. Mm-hmm. My parents said to me, there is this TV show coming back on air on the BBC, and we think you'd really like it. I reluctantly sat down, watched it, and here we are today. What's it, 19 years later, 18 years later?
Yeah.
2005.
18, I think, yeah.
Crumbs.
That is crazy. It's surreal. Mine's Rose as well, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's so surreal. I don't remember the episode. Like, I don't remember watching the episode, but what I do remember is being sat down by my parents, being told there's this Shadowface show, same as what you were told. It's coming back. It was big back in the day. Let's sit down and watch it.
That's fate, man.
And I remember the 10-second countdown, and it was like every second it showed like a different monster that was about to appear in. I'd love to see that again. That would be crazy. If I could find that countdown again, I would lose my fucking mind. Unless I'm making this up in my head.
And I think you're right, because I remember seeing it.
And literally, like, my memory ends, like, it's like 3, 2, 1, black. I don't remember actually watching the episode. I just remember sat down and the countdown.
Being like, what's this Levain?
And I was like 5, so...
Yeah, it was iconic. It's funny how we had the exact same experience
It is.
in a completely different life and house.
Yeah. And now we're all besties together.
Grown up, doing
Grown
a
up,
podcast.
Doing a grown-up podcast.
Who knew?
Who knew?
World has its way of figuring stuff out.
Connor, what episode of Doctor Who scared you the most?
I was never the kind of guy to be like terrified by the Weeping Angels. Like, they scared me. But, you know, I think, you know, we're going to try and change it up a little bit and not give obvious answers. You know, I know everyone's going to say that I was going to pick Empty Child, Doctor Dances.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
thought
lot
you
of
would.
truth behind that. But I do recall when I was younger having a huge fear of the Slitheen. And I recall watching Aliens of London and World War III, seeing the Slitheen, and being like, okay, they're kind of scary, but I can deal with this. And then one day, like, a switch flicked in my head, and my nan had like pre-recorded episodes, so when I went over to her house, I could just like watch Doctor Who in the corner.
Yep.
And I remember at one point the Slitheen came on screen, and I couldn't look at it. Like, I
Jeez.
just couldn't look at it. I was so scared to even
crazy.
stare at the TV. So whenever the Slitheen would come on, I'd walk away and come back into scenes. Which is, by the way, if you've seen Aliens of London and World War III, it's quite a lot that they're in.
Yeah.
So I'd have to just like, if the Doctor was in the scene, I'd normally be okay. But scenes of them just like running through Downing Street,
That's such an unconventional one to have as your...
too much for me. Hey, you
Considering
said,
it's like-
you said switch it up. So.
Considering it's like the light-hearted... one of the light-hearted stories of season 1.
They're terrifying.
They got big claws. Big claws.
They do.
Yeah, I remember that being like a little spooky at the time. I remember Dalek being spooky,
Oh,
like
yeah.
really spooky, especially the start in that room. I remember that was spooky as hell. Unquite Dead, I've
Oh,
said, or will say in next week's episode, how much that scared me as a kid. But I do think and Blink obviously, but I do think the number one episode that scared me was The Girl in the Fireplace.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty. Yeah. Okay.
Mainly like the costume design of the Clockwork
Oh,
Robots.
beautiful.
But also terrifying.
Yeah.
Really terrifying. And the main thing was that almost opening scene when the Doctor first meets Sophia Miles' character. What's she called? Madame de Pompadour, of course.
Brunette or something. Brunette.
Renette.
Yeah.
When the Doctor walks in and there's a clock really loud ticking, and all of a sudden he notices that the clock's broken, and fucking terrifying. And that shot on the 23rd of November this year, obviously no Doctor Who came out that day, but I sat down and watched Girl in the Fireplace, and my girlfriend was sat next to me, and as that scene was happening, I was like, Nick, this scared the fuck out of me as a kid. And it's literally that shot under the bed where you just see like this furry kind of thing to the left of the screen, and David looking down, and then this arm reaches
the sonic,
the sound, and even like my girlfriend was like, what the fuck, like she was freaked out by it.
It's scary.
And then it's that reveal shot of Renette, and then the clockwork robot behind, then the focus shift. I would stay up at night in my bunk bed, and I'd have like a fish light on. I had like a little fake fish tank with fake fish around in it. And it had a light in it that would illuminate underneath my bed. And so at night, I literally would just like stare at the light coming from underneath my bed to make sure there was no shadows being cast from no fucking clockwork robots under there. Like months and months, this terrified me.
You see the shoes as well. Just
the whole sequence is terrifying. So terrifying.
Smacks the Sonic, and then like when you look again, you just see the shoe, so it stood up.
I know it. Oh man, fucks me up, bro.
It's scary.
Even now, like, gives me like the shivers just watching it. Spooky ass shit, bro.
That's brilliant.
Ass shit.
So, what episode makes you cry the most? We all know Aiden doesn't cry.
No,
not a single tear has dropped from his eye in the last 20 years.
There's a lot of episodes I could name here. Episodes that get me moving the most.
Yeah.
Things like Vincent and the Doctor. That's a big one. Waters of Mars. That very recently made me cry just randomly. But the two big ones I want to give a bit of love to here. Definitely as a kid, Doomsday fucked me up. I was in tears. I remember seeing the beach, like vigorously remember that. And my sister was watching it with me and being like, "You've got a crush on Rose." Because I was like bawling as she's like, "Say it." Rose Tyler. I was just like, no, Rose.
Just too much.
Too much. Couldn't handle it. But also, as I've grown up, the one that hurts more than anything and is... I'm not going to spoil anything here, but definitely up there with my top episodes of all time. Human Nature, Family of Blood. That ending with David. You just had an hour and a half of John Smith. Amazing. And building John Smith, and John Smith literally has to die in order for the Doctor to come back, and that is crazy. Do you want some more Passion Pop, love?
Oh God! All right,
got to fuel you up, mate. You got to get that.
I finished it because it was so gross,
and you were hoping I'd let you off,
and I was hoping to be let off.
You don't have to have it. If you don't
want it's 200 episodes. I'll do it. Yeah. Do you want me to answer it?
Yes.
Do you know what? Again, we're trying to be... there's obviously the obvious answers, like End of Time Part 2. Like, I watched it live. I was crying my eyes out in front of the whole family. I feel like that's obvious, though. I thought I'd pick...
Sorry, that's
just me.
That sounded like the Mickey Smith plastic.
Pizza!
I'll top myself up as well.
The episode that made me cry the most on the rewatch. I thought, you said change it up, so I'm changing it up a little bit.
Nice.
Episode on our rewatch for this podcast that made me cry the most is the one that no one's ever gonna guess, but it's Dalek.
Right.
I had come back from the pub, I believe, on a Friday night.
Oh, I remember you telling this actually, yeah.
And for some reason, I was wheezing and weeping at the last. It's just because The Lone Dalek plays, which is one of my favourite, probably second or maybe favourite piece of Murray Gold score. Pizza!
For our audio listeners, the cork just blew itself off of the bottle just then. I didn't put it back on properly. Oh well.
That's hilarious. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I can't wait for your gif of that. Anyways, you're telling a really emotional story of The Lone Dalek.
It just... Murray can just make me cry at a drop of a hat, and The Lone Dalek is the most beautiful piece of score. They reused that piece in Doomsday, and they reuse it at the end of the Satan's Pit.
Right.
And it just hit me, and I was a slobbery, crying mess. And I don't know why. I guess like the beers just hit in a certain way, and that episode's just so perfect, and like it somehow makes you go through so many emotions of like being so fearful of the Dalek, but then like when the the shell opens and it looks like a willy pointing at the sky. But
You
like,
love that Willy analogy, don't you?
I remember that.
Yeah, because you used to always be talking about
Yeah,
Willies.
it does look like
Same
a
with
willy.
the hybrid Dalek Sec. You were like, penis.
It does look like a willy,
got
but
dicks
it's
on
like
his head.
you can
He's a
almost
dickhead.
you almost feel sorry for it because it's like it sees the light and it's like it's pointing to the sky. It's actually
pointing to the St. Peter's.
yeah, the St. Peter's. It's like, and then the Lone Dalek plays, and you know I'm crying.
Yeah.
I'm crying.
Definitely this rewatch, because in particularly those first 4 seasons, where I think we really got into a habit of like, on Thursday nights, we'd be recording the pod, be pissed talking about it. And I think like I would finish recording the pod and then go watch the episode we were going to talk about the following Thursday. And I'd just keep drinking and be so pissed.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think Impossible Planet Satan Pit fucked me up, like emotionally this when we did it this time. I think like Waters of Mars fucked me up when we reviewed it. And like a few other ones in season 3 and 4 just made me so emotional rewatching them because we were so pissed.
Yeah.
And then there was one night where I got really pissed on my own. And I think I cut myself off from alcohol for like 3 weeks after this because, yeah, we're doing the pod, got pissed. And then I think I watched the episode. I can't remember what it was. It would have been series 5, 6, or 7 because there was a Proms on the same Blu-ray. And so I kept drinking, watching the episode for the next week. And this was like a Monday or a Thursday night because those are our recording days.
Yeah.
And then I saw Doctor Who at the Proms on the extras and I was so pissed. I was like,
Oh, why not?
let's just put on 10 minutes. And then 60 minutes later, I'm just like bawling my eyes out at Murray's music. just like, why isn't it this good anymore? My show. This is what it used to be like. We used to have all this stuff. And just being an emotional wreck.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's a good mix sometimes. Bit of booze and Doctor Who. You just
Great mix.
you get a bit sad. And what's life
like
about getting a bit sad? You learn.
That's like the pitch of this podcast.
Yeah.
Booze and Doctor Who. I mean, all of our art is beers, so...
One of my favorite things to do after coming back from the pub is to like watch Doctor Who clips. Whatever comes to mind. You know, I got drunk on Friday and I rewatched Wild Beyond and The Giggle.
Right.
And I loved every second of it.
Awesome.
It was great.
I feel like they'll both be really good ones. Wild Beyonder
Oh,
might
yeah.
put you to sleep in a couple of the slower places, I feel.
The first act is slow.
Yeah. But then the
Your
Giggle...
mum be like, why is it so slow? Why is it so slow?
She's literally like the non-things. They can't operate when he's thinking too slow.
I don't get it. It's too fast. It's too slow.
But I feel like the Giggle would be a really good one to watch pissed.
Oh, yeah. It is fun. It's very fun.
And I also remember not feeling emotional about Doctor Who for a while on broadcast.
Yeah.
And then getting up at like 4:30 a.m. the moment it dropped to watch on my like iPhone 4 The Angels Take Manhattan, and just sitting in my theater room, and I just remember just crying at the the jump. Oh, Vay, that fucked me up.
No.
I've always found that like the more emotional thing than the actual farewell later in the episode.
Do you like the Matt Smith though?
So what? Oh, that
Yeah,
part
no.
later on. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's good. That's for. I feel like that scene's for like the Tumblr stands.
Yes.
That Raggedy Man, good night. Whereas for me, I'm here for that sacrifice. You
Yeah.
know, when they jump off together, that's the shit that I love, and that fucks me up. That fucks me up. Okay, Connor. I was about to just call you episode. Okay, episode.
Call me what you want.
Daddy. Which episode is regarded
Call her
as terrible but you love? Which episode is regarded as terrible but you love?
Love and Monsters. No. No.
What is it?
We're switching it up.
Okay.
I guess like it, define terrible. I guess like,
Not good, bad,
but I
worse than bad.
I'll have to go with Fear Her. I have.
You like Fear Her?
I love it.
You love Fear Her?
Oh yeah.
I don't mind. I think it's shit, but I enjoy it. But I wouldn't go so far to say I love it.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I
Talk to
love
me about Fear Her.
Well,
Daddy.
what's it like? An episode after
Love and Monsters.
Love and Monsters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely 2 weeks of Doctor Who.
That was
For sure.
That was 2.
I don't know. I just have a astounding memory of it and just recall loving it. It blew my mind that Doctor Who, it was like what, a couple of years away from the 2012 Olympics, and the fact they were doing that and showing it because they knew that it was confirmed in the UK they were going to be doing it.
Great idea.
Absolutely great idea. And what's it? Chloe Webber's dad in the closet who's drawn.
Yeah.
The Isolus! The Isolus! I am the Isolus! A flower comes flying out of her mouth. I am the Isolus!
And obviously, there's
awful episode, but
the
so
most,
great.
arguably the most iconic line in Doctor Who. I'm reporting you to the council.
Of course, that's what I mean.
We need that on the soundboard.
And oh yeah, definitely. And can I just say as well, one of my favourite lines of Doctor Who ever is in this episode, which I feel like never gets enough credit. I know I talk about this a lot.
Fingers on lips.
No.
Okay. I'm reporting you to the council.
No. That's what I mean. No one talks about it. And I think it's
Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree.
Kookaburra love. Kookaburra gay your life.
I remember being like,
that's the
Australia.
lyrics, don't get mad at me.
Australia, kookaburras.
Yeah. Do you know that's the song that, you know the song Down Under by Men at Work?
Yeah.
You know the Kookaburra Gum Tree? Mm-hmm. The Kookaburra Gum Tree song, the people who made that sued Men at Work because they copied the flute in the chorus. Yeah, they sued them. But no, it's not that. It's the scene in the TARDIS where Rose says, easy for you to say you never had kids, and then he says, I was a dad once, and she says, what? And then he's like, I think we're there, and then he just like runs off and doesn't mention it ever again.
That's good.
I love mentions to the Doctor's past without showing it. Russell and Chibnall. I like just mentions and you can speculate, okay?
I love when he shoves his fingers in the jar and looks from it. There's it's a fun episode. I
wrote just like...
I think it people don't give it enough credit for actually having a few really fun moments in it. And I do love the vibe of it as well. There's something about it that does work for me. Then again, I think on the rewatch, I think I gave it a terrible score. But I think I do have like nostalgia because it's very much that 2000s Britain, 2012 Britain, I suppose.
The old woman running through the streets. Get them inside.
Get them inside. Get them inside. The TARDIS materialising the wrong way.
Oh, brilliant.
That's great.
Ah.
And even the end is just so foreboding.
What, was Doctor running with the torch?
No, foreboding. Like the last scene where...
Oh, foreboding.
There's a storm coming.
What's that mean?
And then it's like, next time. Boom.
Yeah. My name is Rose Tyler.
And this is the day that I died.
This is the story of how I died.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 just Daleks and Cybermen shoot.
Epic.
Welcome to Torchwood. It was like, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. That score is so iconic.
Is that the Shiver and Shake?
Yeah.
So good.
For me, this is probably a slightly more obvious answer out of my answers on here, but Connor, you can answer this for me, surely. What's the episode regarded as terrible that I love?
Bells of St. John?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever happened to like not being predictable?
It's less about not being predictable and more about doing answers that maybe are a little less universal. Like, I don't think a lot of people would answer Bells of St. John for that question.
That's true.
Do you know
but
what I mean?
Predictable.
Predictable for me, sure. But we got to give love to the episodes that we do love in this. So, Bells of St. John.
You can give honorable mention.
Bells of St. John is definitely an episode that I'm like so aware of so many times in the episode that it's like doing some really shit stuff. But I think it's really funny. I think the dialogue's quippy. I think it looks really nice, other than the riding up the shard at the end. But I think it looks awesome. It's got this urban thriller vibe to it. And for me, just captures like a really fun time in Doctor Who. It was the start of the lead up to the 50th. Arguably the most happy and at one with being a Who fan that I've ever been. Like, I was so full of love for the show at that point. And it was just full of energy.
It reminds me of Easter, because that's when it came out.
Yeah, it was April it came out,
Yeah,
and I remember the hype. I remember instantly having a massive crush on Clara Oswald.
I was going to say, did it have anything to do with Jenna Coleman look like a snack?
Obviously, as a kid, I was like, God damn, I'm in love.
Yeah, me too.
I'm in love. And I just think it just sets up like a fun season. You know me, I'm aware and agree with a lot of the faults of season 7, especially part 2. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. Like, I love season 7 part 2. Not in the same way I love seasons like 1 to 4 that are just perfect with a few minor flaws. Season 7 is like, for me, it's like perfectly silly but emotional. It's really wears its heart on its sleeve in a lot of episodes.
I always remember it being so much better. I should talk on the mic. I always remember it being so much better, but then like watching it for the podcast and being like, I remember just being underwhelmed by it. I don't know.
I think it just looks great. It really does look fantastic.
Individually, I think they're good episodes. I think just when you watch them as a series, it's just kind of feels a bit disjointed and not as good.
Especially watching it after watching season 6. So it's like you come out of so many episodes a week, and then you're watching more episodes of the week.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can feel that. I think we might have mentioned that on the pod at the time as well.
We are very intellectuals, probably.
We're so wise and smart.
We are.
Connor, I would like to know, what episode did you used to love, but doesn't hold up anymore?
Again, I think I'm going off our rewatch here, but I remember the episode that I was extremely excited for and didn't necessarily like on rewatch, and by no means hate it, but just didn't really like or like fuck with, was Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lords.
Right.
I used to love this as a kid.
I think they're good.
I like them. Don't get me wrong. I know Colin T fell down the stairs and broke his leg.
Yes, he did. Poor guy.
Poor guy.
R.I.P. the goat.
You don't understand, I guess. Like, I used to love it as a kid. I used to think this is like the best thing ever. And then being so excited for it, rewatching it, I just didn't mess with it as much as I had in the past. Still great episode.
But not as much.
But not as good as I remember. Maybe I just watched it on a bad day.
Maybe. You had a bad day.
You're taking one down. You're singing a sad song just to turn it around.
Who sings that?
I don't know.
That was a great song.
I don't know who sings it. But you can just search Bad Day on Spotify and it will instantly come up.
You could just Shazam us singing as well. That would work too, I think.
I hear you can do that now, like hum a beat.
It is,
like
yeah.
Google.
Google
That's
does
insane.
it so well.
I saw it today on Google.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? This is insane.
Google's so great. Like my Pixel, like, I don't even have to use Shazam anymore. Now I'm just like, if we were playing a song, right, and I have my phone closed and I just like tap on my screen, it'll come up at the bottom here, the song that's playing in the background.
But that means it's constantly listening to our conversation.
But so's your phone.
No,
all phones are doing
not
it.
my precious iPhone.
The episode for me that I used to love but doesn't hold up anymore is The Curse of the Black Spot.
No, please.
I loved
Get
it
the
at
fuck
broadcast.
outta here.
Seriously, on broadcast, I fucking loved it.
Me too. I like it. It's good.
It was brilliant. It like the set design on the ship, and now I think now when you're older and you've seen so much of the behind the scenes and stuff, you can really tell that they are all filming one way. Because like if you've seen the behind the scenes, it's all shot with a ship on a dock.
Yes.
So I think that becomes a little obvious at times when you watch it with mature eyes and after watching it a lot of times. But goddamn, I loved it as a kid. The plot falls apart now as an adult watching it because you're like, where did the missing pirate go?
Yeah, where is the missing pirate?
There is all sorts of problems with it. But I loved it as a kid. Rory's sacrifice, then Rory like dying and then not dying, like got me in the feels. I loved it. And I still think I have a soft spot for it now. A black spot, you could say, for it now. But yeah, very aware that it's not great.
I remember the mermaid looked like a girl who went to our school and being like, wow.
I'd love to know who this is. I can bleep it out, I guess. Hopefully I remember to. I kind of see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a girl that looks like her that works at our local pharmacy.
What, in...
That's not where we... Am I going to have to bleep that out now?
Yeah. I thought
Okay.
this is all cut.
I'm just have to bleep all this stuff out now. Great. Anyways.
Engage now, of course.
What episode means the most to you, not because of the episode itself, but because of the memories associated with it? I feel like I know your answer.
Day with Doctor.
Yeah, it has to be, because it's when you and Dan became best friends as well, so...
No. I hated that guy.
Yeah, I know, but it's what started your friendship. You guys stayed up.
Yeah, I think that was just like a time of our youth.
And I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Anyway, it was you, me, Dan, and Declan. I hope he doesn't mind saying his name. Mm-hmm. I know he's a bit private these days. I recall not wanting Dan to come, and you invited him, and being quite annoyed about it because I liked you all to myself.
But he was going to watch it alone, and I just extended a hand to him.
Tough titties.
I said, come hang with the boys. We'll watch it together.
Just invite him, Aiden. It's fine.
Well, it did you some fucking good, didn't it?
It did. I love him. He's like my best friend. So
there you go.
But at the time, it was annoying. But yeah, I remember just like filming like the 60th anniversary trailer.
That's good. We've got to put that on the channel at some point. That would be a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, I was gonna do
directed by me.
As I'm saying, like I'm an actor in it. You directed it. It could be like a director, and like the breakdowns are like break down the scenes. Like you see them like Cillian Murphy and Christopher Nolan together.
We should do that.
That'd be funny. Yeah,
drawing storyboards.
Yeah, just like my idea for this scene is that they're walking together and it's symbolic of the Doctors being together, and it's like, okay, you're very smart. It was just a great night, and then when the episode comes on, I think Declan instantly fell asleep. Aiden stayed up for like maybe 20 minutes.
I think I remember falling asleep around the time David had been on for like 5 minutes or so. I think the last thing I sort of remember is them running away from the Zygons, but I think for a lot of the episode, I was sort of in and out. You know when you're sort of trying to stay awake, but you're falling asleep and it's really patchy what you've seen? I think that maybe the second act, I was sort of in that mode, and the third act, I was gone. I was dead.
Yeah, I remember like the episode finished night, and I was in like a swervy chair, and I turned around and like I looked at Declan, he's asleep. I looked at you and you're asleep, and I just looked at Dan, he was just like, and I was like,
no words were exchanged.
And I just went, fuck it, I'm going to sleep.
Nice.
And then because I remember thinking my whole world just ended because I didn't like it.
Yeah, right.
But then I went to go watch it at the cinema and loved it. So,
Nice.
And so did you. So what about you? What episode has the best memories?
Runner up for me, Day of the Dog, because for those obvious reasons, I think that was a magical time for us as fans, as friends. Watching Day of the Dog at the cinema with my mum was amazing. I think like Name of the Doc as well, the cliffhanger. I'll never forget John Hurt turning around and running downstairs and calling you.
Ooh.
And being like, dude, did you fucking see that?
Dude.
There's a new fucking Doctor.
Dude, that was insane.
John Hurt, he's the war fucking Doctor, bro. I'll never forget that.
I could not ever forget that, yeah.
But I thought I'd give us a little wholesome one here, Connor, and say dinosaurs on a spaceship. Not because of the episode, but because it was the episode title and you overhearing... No, me overhearing you and friend Bleep.
Yeah, Bleep. I was talking to Bleep at school, and it was a camp, so we were away from home.
School camp, good stuff.
And I was wearing like a stripy t-shirt.
Wrong color scheme.
A complete, because Amy's was blue and white. The jumper she was wearing. Yeah, mine was blue and yellow, and it was like the whole idea was that I was saying this is my Dinosaurs on a Spaceship t-shirt because that was the episode that was coming out that weekend.
Yeah.
And then slowly this fucking guy turns around and it was Aiden Green.
And I said, did you just say dinosaurs on a spaceship?
No one would ever get that. And the fact that you did showed to me that you had the same knowledge in Doctor Who that I did, which was like extremely rare.
Yeah, like knowing the name of the episode that was...
Yeah, that was like unheard of for me at least. I didn't know anyone like that.
No, for sure. Yeah, until getting invested in the Hugh community and people on Twitter.
Yeah.
Everyone, at the time of recording, everyone's trying to cancel Ben Cook, which is
for good reason. He's been a twat.
He was being a twat.
He's just being mean. It's not necessary.
He was, but also, the amount of people that are mean on Twitter and still keep their jobs. Everyone that's like, he should be fired.
I'm tweeting Russell and...
I know. I'm like, this guy's not going to get fired. Worst case, someone's going to sit him down and be like, Ben, are you okay? It was pretty out of character what you were doing on Twitter the other day.
Did you see that Ben Cook was the one who gave... what's his name from Voyage of the Damned, that interview?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on from that. It's funny. It's silly drama. Silly Doctor Who Twitter drama, There's
always something going on.
Ooh, we're going to cancel again. We're going to cancel another one.
When are we on the agenda?
Oh, we're coming, mate.
I can't wait for that clip, that out of context clip.
Like something we said 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably something out there.
Yeah, something.
There's 200 episodes.
I challenge you to cancel us.
I challenge you to a game.
Yay.
Good this moment. Is going to come back and bite us, I think.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well. But yeah, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship for that reason.
Very sweet.
It started our friendship.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Not the episode, but it was the first episode that we would have talked about, right? Because I remember we then, went our separate ways. I don't think we really spoke... again on the camp.
The odd, no, not on the camp, but afterwards, the odd conversation about Doctor Who.
But that's the thing. I then remember after Dinosaurs on the Spaceship came out, we were back at school, finished the camp, And back at school, I remember being like, "Oh, what do you think of Dinosaurs in a Spaceship?" And I remember I was talking about Dinosaurs in a Spaceship. So that is technically like the first episode of this podcast. You know what I mean? Like that's the first time that we spoke and dissected an episode of Doctor Who.
Iconic.
Who
knew?
Iconic.
Who knew?
Who bloody knew? All right, Connor, what is the episode of Doctor Who that has the best ending?
God, that is so difficult to say.
Do you want me to say if you're still...
Yeah, I got a few, but go ahead.
Because I've pre-organised mine.
Gone.
This episode for me could fall into a number of categories because it is one of my favourite episodes of all time. I don't think it's one of the best. I don't think it's one of the best. I think it does have problems with its villain not being that great in the middle act. I think the structure's a little wonky. But it's by one of my favourite film writers of all time, Richard Curtis. I think Vincent and the Doctor has the best ending of any Doctor Who episode. It is so emotional. It is so well earned. Very impactful. Even like the way it's shot, or like the spinning around, the music choice, everything about it for me is the best ending of a Doctor Who episode. Are you on board with that?
Just to name a few: Ending of Christmas Invasion, End of New Earth, the end of Family of Blood.
But give me one. What is the one, Connor?
I'd probably say Stolen Earth sent me the most.
Like the end of Stolen Earth or Journey's End?
Stolen Earth. Just
yeah, or the to be continued. Not even the episode scenes, just the to be continued title card.
the cliffhanger with David regenerating, Sarah Jane getting surrounded by Daleks, Torchwood being attacked.
Nuts.
You know, it was everything was happening at once, and I guess I'd have to pick that.
Yeah, fair.
But there's a few beautiful ones out there. The End of Heaven Sent was huge.
It was huge for me. Like I think the best endings for me are ones with closure. Like I wouldn't, and I'm not against you putting these out there, but for me, I probably wouldn't give one with a cliffhanger. Like, I love, like, the Vincent and the Doctor. It's such good closure for that episode. Connor, stop pulling that fucking face, mate. But it's like, you look at Vincent and the Doctor, you look at things like Family of Blood, you know?
Yes, thank you. That was me.
Yeah.
Beautiful ending, Family of Blood. And not a dry eye in the house. So I'm going to go with Family and Blood.
You going with that?
Uh-huh.
I'll let you lock that in. That's a good answer. And I'm going with Vincent and the Doctor.
Let you off.
What? Connor, oh yeah, you asked me. Go on.
So, what would you say? What episode had the best opening of all time?
The episode with the best opening. This is going to be controversial as well.
Doctor Witter in the Wardrobe. Is that what you're going to say?
No, but that sent me as a kid, 100%. That was considering the episode.
Me too.
That intro, and I don't mind Doctor Witter episode, Doctor Witter and the Wardrobe, but the intro, like, sent me. I remember it got like released online or something like that, and it was crazy.
And there was a prequel leading up to it with him holding the button. It's like, when I let go of this button, the whole ship's going to explode.
What a way to start. So many explosions, crazy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, episode with the best opening, Name of the Doctor. As a kid, fucking sent me. Seeing like Clara with all these old doctors, old footage. I understand now there's a whole debate of like, now Clara's too important, she's too involved in the Doctor's timeline. Shut the fuck up. Like, it was such a fun way of doing the 50th. What do you think?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Like,
cool.
No, I don't think it's like that bad. Like, considering what we have now, it's like the whole history is fucked anyway.
Yeah.
So like, if Clara's there saving the day, it's like, it is what it is.
And what a way to be like, you know, these episodes in 7B had all sort of started the 60th hype. You know, I think Moffat has said like bringing the Ice Warriors back was sort of part of the 50th hype. Great Intelligence being back, being part of the 50th hype. And then this episode felt like being, no, here you go. Here is the prequel to the 50th. This is where the 50th hype begins. And I just thought, what a way to start
be alive.
Amazing time. Like, seriously, I think that was the best time to be a Doctor Who fan, was in the 50th.
Oh.
Moffat did such a good job, and I think we were at the perfect age for it.
We were. It never got better than that year.
No.
And it never will.
We'd sort of just come out of our maybe angsty phase where Doctor Who was a bit silly and we were into Arrow, Walking Dead, whatever you were into. And we'd finally sort of refound a bit of love for it. And Clara was so hot for our like 15-year-old brains or whatever.
The eye candy for watching the episode.
Seriously, that does a lot.
I'm going to have to put it in here at some point, Aiden, you know. And I just rewatched it recently, The Empty Child, Dots of Dances. The opening to Empty Child for me will forever be my favourite.
What's the opening scene for that?
It's Rogue. It's what? It's Rogue. And it's about 10 seconds from hitting the centre of London.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the space
Yeah, that's cool.
ambulance going through the time vortex, that beautiful green glow. Rhodes wearing the Union Jack, them landing in the street.
Yeah, even like after the title sequence, the first act is so cool. Like when the Doctor walks in and he's like,
"We're really loud." Boom.
I've just
Bang.
What does he say? He's like, I've just said this, and there's a war on, or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, he goes in and he's like, "There's something that would have crashed with a very loud bang," and he says it's the air raid. Fantastic episode.
I've really been wanting to rewatch.
I want to give you a big squidgy hug.
I've really been wanting to rewatch some Series 1 lately, and 2, but I've decided I'm going to buy that Blu-ray remaster.
Oh, Aiden, what a simp you are.
I know, I've just heard it's better, and it has fixed a lot of problems on the...
Have some perspective.
I know.
Fix the audio.
I know. Oh, yeah, that's what they
have some perspective.
Said that commenter once. That comment. God forbid I complain. I was just complaining about the sound, right?
Yeah, just hit blowing up your speakers. That was about it.
Yeah, goddamn. Connor Hannum.
Hello, Aiden.
What is, and we don't ask this to our guests for, I think, obvious reasons, but this is a question on Brett's questionnaire for his guests. What is the sexiest episode of Doctor Who?
All
right.
Okay, no one counts me for saying this. Something happened to me when I watched an episode called Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, seeing Jenna Coleman wearing this beautiful red skirt.
I know. The things that we said...
Awooga! I'm sorry. I'm just being completely honest. It was just like... And it wasn't just me, because I was
it was me.
I remember talking to someone at school who didn't really watch... He would tune into the odd episode if it was on. And he was like, I watched that Journey to the Center of the TARDIS last night. Who's the companion in it?
Who's that bird?
And I was like, it's not just me? Wow. Yeah. And that just oh, baby, that sent me.
Do you know, this is so weird. I'll say this is fucking weird now, right? But it was kind of a joke at the time as well. But we did Secret Santa in my year 9 class. And so everyone, it was the version of Secret Santa where you get a name, traditional Secret Santa, you get a name pulled and that's the person that you're buying a gift for, right? And the person who got me literally was like, I don't know what to get you. What do you want? And I sort of said, I was infatuated with Jenna Coleman at the time, but I was also taking the piss because I was always saying the fit companion, that was me as a 15-year-old. And I remember being like, oh, don't worry, don't spend money. I don't really give a fuck. No, I have to get you something. And I was like, just get me a picture of Jenna Coleman. Just get a picture of Jenna Coleman in her Journey to the Center of the TARDIS dress and put it in a frame.
Are you serious?
That's 100%
what Journey to the Center of the TARDIS?
Yeah.
Seriously?
But that's not what they got me. They got me a Doctor Who Monster Encyclopedia or something like that. But no, my answers. Okay, main answer, 11th Hour.
What, kissogram, Amy?
You're telling me you don't want to see fucking Karen Gillan dressed as a sexy policewoman handcuffing you to the radiator, hitting you with a baseball, with a cricket bat? Oh my God, shut up. I'm sweating just thinking about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm there. And I love the straightened hair.
Oh, goodness me, Kaz.
Of course I'm there. Of course I'm there, man.
Moff knew what he was doing there.
Yeah, she's a kissogram. Take off the hat and the hair all falls.
God
yes,
damn.
Boo. I love it. I'm there. Doctor Who is sexy.
I want to give a shout out as well to one other scene in an episode that I think as a kid, 2006, so I was 8? And I think this is one of those moments. I can never remember one moment of sexual awakening or whatever, but I do know that there was one specific. This is one of a few moments that I remember around that age, where just a bit of blood moved.
Is it New Earth with Rose?
Yes,
I knew it, dude.
Yeah, when she's undoing a top and perking a
nice rear bottom.
They knew what they were doing. That's all I'm saying. You can try to cancel us all you want. They were doing that on purpose.
She was I think she was 23 or 24.
Which makes it even more okay for us to say that as 25-year-olds now.
She was just a little bit younger than us doing that.
Than us now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, they knew what they were doing.
I mean, I've unbuttoned this episode.
I always button-ups now. I don't do all the way up. Yeah, I got a bit of chest out. Not as... I do one more button than you have there, but... But that's because if I undo one more button, you'll see a carpet of chest hair. Sexy. But yeah, you agree with that scene?
My nether regions do.
And she puts on that boss bitch attitude as well. That accent. Oh, goodness me. They knew.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing. That's why I don't feel bad about it. Like, they fucking knew what they were doing. Ask me a question, Connor.
Yeah, before we get cancelled.
Yeah. Yeah, we just sat here simping.
What episode do you relate to the most?
What episode do I relate to the most? Oh shit! No, I've done myself here. I answered all these questions last night, and I was going to come back to this question, but never did.
I've got mine if you want.
Yeah, and I'll think whilst you answer.
What episode did I say that I feel like I'm in currently right now? When you pick me up?
What, the giggle?
No. What episode did I say that I feel like I'm in at the moment?
Heaven Sent.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So
I thought you were going to say just the whole Time Lord Victorious arc.
Oh, that's still been going on since January, bro. No, I think that Heaven Sent. I know Moffat has said, "I'm glad you get that from the episode," but I didn't personally write it like that. But I think it can be a metaphor for like depression and the idea that what do they call it? The monk almost. Not the monk. It has a name. I keep
the veil.
The veil is almost like anxiety and depression constantly following you, no matter where you go.
Yep.
It'll always catch up to you. I kind of feel like I can relate to that the most. So sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in a castle, running away from like my own mental health problems.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. That sounds like I'm.
No.
I'm a lot better than I was.
Yeah.
I think you can attest to that.
You are doing well.
I'm a lot better than I was, as he says as he's drinking cider and passion pot. What about you?
I think there's an element of I guess someone who is like a bit of a romantic for me. There's an element of The Girl Who Waited.
You're a romantic?
I am, but I communicate my romance through film and TV. This is something I've become very aware of in the last year, is that I really love romance movies and things like that.
Right.
I'm often not great at necessarily converting that into my real life, which I was as a kid, by the way. But it's like...
You're telling me.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's an element of like a lot of Amy and Rory's relationship that I see a lot in like mine and my girlfriend's relationship. We've been with each other for a long time.
That's so sweet.
I'm not the most masculine of men. She's a ginger.
I think you're beautiful.
Thanks, man. And I don't know, maybe I couldn't tell you what exactly it is, but there's an element of like Rory, standing up, like realizing what he wants at the end of The Girl Who Waited, that I think maybe resonates with me a bit. And I also want to say, just in terms of general outlook on life, the end of The Big Bang, where the Doctor sits down with Amelia Pond and says that life is a pile of good things and bad things. The good things don't always outweigh the bad things, and vice versa. The bad things don't always outweigh the good things and make them unimportant. That is a speech that lives rent-free in my head, and is definitely a lot of an approach that I take to life.
And it's very much true.
I think I'm a relatively positive guy, and I think that's...
that you are.
I think speeches like that and scenes like that really do resonate with me in terms of how I look at life. So yeah.
Very sweet.
That was hard to think of on the spot, but there you go.
Mine was very depressed and yours was very uplifting.
Yeah, well...
Mine was about me running away from my demons. Yours was about accepting them.
But maybe you have to run away from them to accept them.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, fuck.
What the hell?
Oh.
What the hell?
What are you, the 14th Doctor, and I'm your therapist?
I'm okay because you fixed yourself.
Yes, thank you.
Do you get it?
Yes, I get it.
I think that's the line.
I wonder if we'll have the same episode here, Connor. Which episode, objectively, is the best one ever? So which is the one that you do think is the most well-made episode of Doctor Who? What is the best episode? It might not necessarily be your favourite, but what is the one that you're like, yep, that's like 10 out of 10, one of the best episodes of TV ever?
For me, it's a photo finish of Wars of Mars and Heaven Sent. Mm-hmm. But I know it's boring. I know everyone says it. Yeah. But I guess it's a cliche for a reason. It's got to go to Heaven Sent. I think down to the writing, to the directing, to the score, to the cinematography, to the performances, to the set, to the costumes, the lighting. I mean,
it's amazing episode.
There's very little I can even fault about it. The sound design is beautiful.
Fantastic.
It pretty much ticks every single box.
Pete is sensational.
We love it, and it's my favorite costume, which I have touched in real life.
Yeah, as we know. He stroked it.
I stroked it.
Was the sexiest episode of Doctor Who of all time?
Yeah, me stroking the Heaven Sent and Face the Raven costume.
Well, I think, you mentioned it there. For me, it's What Was the Mars That Takes the Chocolates.
I like that.
Heaven Sent's probably up there for me. Probably it'll be my top 3 would definitely be Human Nature, Family of Blood, Heaven Sent, and What Is a Mars.
Oh,
that could change on any viewing of the episodes. Like I could watch one of those episodes one day and say, no, this is the number one. But for me, especially after the last time having watched What Is a Mars, I think it's What Is a Mars, and I do think the last couple of times I've watched Heaven Sent, I think is like it is. I want to say a perfect episode because there is just like one 5-minute portion of the episode where it does slow down a little bit too much for me and I want it to wriggle on, but this is so minor nitpicking. Like if this, like, it's still incredible, but there is one, I think it's like Heaven Sent has like 10 out of 10 pacing, but I think What Is a Mars has like 11 out of 10 pacing. Like I think there's just like it's just a fraction better at the pacing in What Is a Mars.
I probably would agree with that. I think, all the episodes you just named, Human Nature, Family of Blood, What Was a Mars, and Heaven Sent, I think are just it's great you're even having a debate of which one's the best.
I know,
because they're all so fantastic.
So I think the scene where it slows down a little bit too much for me in Heaven Sent is when he's digging outside. For some reason, I don't know.
The hand.
For some reason, I always find myself zoning out a little bit in that sequence. I
think we all have that for certain scenes. I think
maybe because it comes out of the enclosed environment. Right. Maybe that's it.
I just love the lighting.
It is beautiful lighting. Yeah.
And can I just say, I know this is a very, I haven't said this on the podcast in ages, old viewers will remember me saying this a lot. My biggest regret is not giving Human Nature, Family and Blood a 10 out of 10. Remember I used to say it all the time?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I gave it a 9.5. So,
but
What Was a Mars I gave a 10, Heaven Sent I gave a 10.
Yeah. So. Okay, Connor, which episode have you watched the most? I'm going to just ramble off a few here because I don't really have I've not kept count.
Yep.
But there's a few here that I've definitely watched more than others.
Yep.
Rose, watched a million times. The amount of times you've gone, I'm going to rewatch Doctor Who today, and you'll start with Rose and then not watch anything after that. So Rose. Doomsday as a kid I watched a million times. Smith and Jones at Partners in Crime as a kid I watched a million times, and as an adult I've watched Bells of St. John a million times.
Good picks. Mine, I've said this before, is Runaway Bride. Mm-hmm. My auntie and uncle came over to Australia. I have good memories of this as well because like my uncle has since passed. Mm-hmm. My auntie's still knocking about, but
R.I.P. the goat.
The goat David, love him. Davies, yeah. They brought over the Runaway Bride on DVD.
Right, just a standalone.
Just a standalone because that's all that was out at the time before season 3 came out. Watched it, loved it, and we had portable DVD players.
Oh, yes, I remember this.
Because we would travel so much with them, showing them all the different shit around WA. Mm-hmm. The only 2 DVDs we had in the car was Runaway Bride and Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man.
Right.
2 pieces of media that I would take to the grave with me, no pun intended, because I love them both so much.
Yep.
But also, it's my mum's favourite episode, so whenever mum's like, put on Runaway Bride and we watch it together, she loves it, so it's like definitely my most rewatched episode, I would say. Even more than Empty Child Off the Dancers, I'd say.
Fair.
But I think I said that before. I'm sorry if that was predictable.
What is the worst episode of Doctor Who? We don't like to be too negative, but what's
too
the
late.
worst?
I'm going to go Goblin. I think an episode called The Battle of Ranskoor of Kolos was the epitome of what was wrong with the show.
But can I raise you this?
Please.
I think that's the most disappointing episode of Doctor Who. I don't think it's the worst, because I do think it it's not outstanding, even if you look at it as like an episode 4 of a season or something. Even then, it's not that exciting. It's not outstanding, but I do think as a script, the components, they all work. There's not stuff that doesn't make sense in the story. Like it does work.
I think it's the worst because of the neglect, the idea that it's Jodie's first season. This is her series final.
Fair. I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, that's fine. And the fact that Chris Chibnall wrote it in 2 weeks, I think shows...
It was his first draft, wasn't it?
Oh, that was it, sorry, the first draft.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a complete lack of like care. I just don't think we'd ever see Russell, of course, but like I don't even think we'd see even Steven do anything like that. I felt like as a fan, I remember this is how low I got watching Doctor Who. I'm on my way to work, my dad's driving, and I'm watching it on my phone.
Yeah.
Bored out of my mind, not giving an FUCK. The only scene I liked about it
This
was...
pod's now PG, apparently.
Oh, sorry, fuck. The only thing...
Let me fix that.
Yeah, let me fix that. Sorry, fuck. The only thing I loved about it is the scene where... sorry for wanting a tiny bit of emotion. When Graham says, I'm going to kill Tim Shaw if I see him, the Doctor says, I will not travel with you anymore. I've always loved
great.
that scene. It's one of my favourite scenes in Doctor Who ever.
That's great from 13 as well to turn around.
Yes.
And be like, no, don't, bitch.
And then that is it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like I know I can say like the Secundrum, Conundrum,
The Saranga Conundrum.
which I think is awful, which is Brett
It's
Goldstein's
fine.
episode, which is Brett Elstein.
Yeah.
And I know you can say stuff like Wedding River Song and all that kind of thing, but
Which is one of my answers.
to me, it's just like the epitome of like a low in Doctor Who where I felt like we could never come back. And granted, season 12 was a lot better, not great, but then season 13 was definitely fun. I respect the COVID shit. But let's just say we're definitely back with Doctor Who now that Russell's back. And Aiden, take the mic.
Wedding River Song, for me, is definitely... I think it's got to be. Like, I think there's so much stuff that's just so bad in that episode. I think as an adult watching it, I think there's some real fun stuff in there, some real camp scenes, some good little emotional beats. But I think, considering how much they built up this death of the Doctor... No, this is the Doctor's death. They literally say it's not a robot or a shapeshifter, and it turns out to be a robot. Things like
And
that.
the shapeshifter.
Yeah, the shapeshifting robot. The bloody Tesselector. That, for me, I'll never forget just how much I hated watching that. But I do love... I don't love certain bits. I enjoy... The train sequence, I think, is quite nice when they're on the way to
52.
Egypt. On the way to there. I think
So
that stuff's
cringe.
nice. Yeah, but the train, there's like a nice little scene between Karen and Matt there.
But the train that goes into the pyramid, Area 52, cringe.
Crazy. Also, Charles Dickens. Find out what that's about next
They
week.
won't get that until
Next week, you'll find out about this soundbite. And like, I like the idea of like everything in time happening at once. I just don't think it was executed
Where are the
properly.
Reapers?
It was like a few cool CGI shots, and then that was it. And that was like Calms Before Air Balloons and shit. It was like, what are you doing?
Can I say as well?
Yep.
I remember watching that episode with my sister for some reason because I think we watched season 6 together, and then
Doctor
Who? I remember like we paused it halfway through, and we went out with like the family, and she was like, "So you liking the episode?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's great." And just completely lying through my teeth
I think I was in
because
denial.
I fucking hated it, and I didn't want to say it.
When I watched it, it came out just before I went on holiday as well. And so I think it was like, I watched it the night before, and I think my sister was like, "Oh, what do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was really good."
That's what I did. What do you mean? No, it was great.
It was great.
Why are you asking?
Stop. What's the matter?
What? Did you not like
What,
it?
you didn't like it?
What? Are you insane?
Are you calling me a liar?
You didn't get it?
You think I'm lying?
Do you not get it?
Seriously.
It's Stephen Moffat. He knows what he's doing.
He's not like, I trust him, you should trust him too. Anyways, it's a bit of shit. But
Doctor Who.
my number one, the worst episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. Connor, you have not seen this. It's a classic Who episode. The Web Planet
I want to see that.
is... Fuck, bro. Like, it is...
Is that with the Yetis?
No.
Planet of the Spiders?
No. This is the Web Planet.
That's with the Yeti, isn't it?
No, it's with the Zarbi.
I was at the...
It's the ones with the wings.
And we...
Yes.
Yeah, we
Oh
need
my
to
God.
Go
'Cause the
to
thing is-
the darkness.
It starts off so funny because of how shit it is. And you're kind of like, okay, I'm on board for this. In the first couple of episodes, you're like, what is these costumes?
It's the B ones?
It's the bee ones.
Yes.
There's like these little, what are they called? Like woodlice or something? The little ones
Wasps?
that roll up.
Oh,
Are they called that?
millipedes?
No, woodlice, I think they are.
Woodlice?
The little shell things that
Oh,
roll
yeah,
up.
woodlice, yeah.
There's like little shit costumes of that. And the first two episodes, you kind of go, okay, this is funny. And then episodes 3 and 4, you're like, end. Please fucking end. This is so long. And then I think episode 5, that continues. And then episode 6 is the worst sound design I've ever heard of anything. You have like beeps going off, like, I don't know, on the planet. But then you also have beeps going off with how the little woodlice creatures communicate over the top of the other beeps, and then you have the bee people going, yeah, well, yeah, well, beep.
It sounds like Mondas inside.
It does sound. No, but then the bee people are talking
waited
for you. But it just sounds terrible. And there was moments in episode 6 where I thought that I was dying. I thought I was dying. I seriously thought I was dying in episode 6. I'd love you to watch it just to see the pain.
We will.
It'll be a funny one to do.
Now that there's nothing holding us back now with it being on iPlayer. There was like, can you even believe this? Like literally a month and a half ago, like there was no way of watching some Classic Who episodes. Now it's all on iPlayer.
Yeah.
So we're sorted. We're good.
But it would be, in terms of like getting you to watch it, if it was 4 episodes, tomorrow I'd be like, we're doing the Web Planet.
I don't fucking think so.
But the fact that it's 6 episodes, my God, seriously, in the middle of that serial, you will question your life, your choices.
I've done that a few times in Classic Who.
No, dude, this is bottom of the barrel. This is bottom of the fucking barrel. There's 100% worse Classic Who episodes than The Wedding River Song. But, it's Classic Who, so you kind of let them off a little bit. But this is the episode that is like... I've never felt worse in my life than I did watching The Web Planet.
I want to watch The Case of Ultrazani.
Yeah, I want to watch that too.
You not seen it?
I watched it. I don't even know if I watched the whole thing, but I remember being like 14 or 15, and I think like my grandma was dying.
Jesus
Christ. Sorry, a bit grim here.
What the fuck?
On one side of my family, my grandma was dying.
Jesus.
Sorry. And I like flew over to the UK to see her for a little bit. But it was like my mum's mum. And then I went and stayed with my dad's mum for a little bit. And so whilst I was with, my healthy grandma, she had like pre-recorded a few Doctor Who's to me, and I was watching those. And I remember one of the ones that had been pre-recorded was The Case of Androzani, and I remember watching that and being like, well, this is kind of good. And then I don't really remember watching it, though. I remember like pressing it and being like, this is good. And then I remember the next one that I went to watch that she pre-recorded was Attack of the Cybermen, and getting 10 minutes into that and being like, this is fucking terrible.
Right. Bit of a doc story.
Old Collins one.
But I did want to say, apparently it's the highest rated classic episode of all time.
Directed by Graham Harper.
Get the fuck out of here.
Directed by Graham Harper.
No way. I love that.
Incredible, mate.
That is incredible.
There is one writer and one director who have bounced between the 2 eras of Doctor Who.
Survival.
Yep.
And Graham Harper.
Rona Munro and Graham Harper.
Is Graham like retired now?
I think so. I was talking to a mate the other day and he was like, just bring back Graham Harper. He's my favourite director. And I was like, dude.
He's probably in a nursing home.
Do you know how old this fella is? Let him sit. Let him just have a rest. And he was like, no, it'll be fine. Just get him in the studio for 4 weeks.
Well, you have people like Scorsese and Ridley Scott.
Yeah, but they're a rare few.
Ridley Scott's like, what, 80 something?
He's 86. And he's making like
insane.
A movie a year at least.
That is insane.
Bro's got incredible work ethic. When I'm 86, I'm going to be like, time to die.
Just, okay.
Okay.
Bit depressing.
That's me, baby.
We used to be watching Doctor Who 86.
Depends if it's still being made.
It will be. Get out of here. They'll never stop The Simpsons.
What is the funniest laugh out loud episode of Doctor Who?
Love and Monsters. Kidding. Kidding. I know that's the most obvious answer.
Mm-hmm. And a good answer.
You do? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying Love and Monsters I think is a good answer, but it is obvious, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would say Japon.
Yeah, I've got 2.
Now we're at the end of this whole thing. I didn't prepare any answers. Just, you did, I didn't.
You've done all this on the spot, which I think you've done a good job of.
Thank you. I knew I could do okay. Anyway, go ahead. You do your thing and then I'll think of one. I
think for me, definitely Partners in Crime. The humour in that
Smash
episode
it then.
is through the roof. As a kid, I was just like laughing in stitches 24/7 watching that episode on repeat. Obviously, the iconic window miming sequence, hilarious. But I also just want to give a special mention because on my birthday eve, okay, on the night before my birthday, I was wide awake and it was like 10 p.m. or like 10:30, and I put on the Snowmen. And obviously, I'm a Snowmen loyalist. I think it's a real fun Christmas special. Is it the most well-rounded special of all time? Not at all. Is it a lot of fun? Does the emotion work? 100%. And the dialogue is so quippy and fucking funny, that I was in stitches. The whole Strax underneath, help, I've been run over by a cab.
Look, it's been snowing.
It's so funny. And that goes throughout most of the episode. The humor is incredible. Like, even when he's like, okay then, Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Is so fucking funny if you're in the right headspace for it. So I want to give a shout out to the Snowman. I think it's funny. I then turned 25. The exact scene, I watched the clock turn over because I then went on and watched Name of the Doctor, which I think is a great episode to watch after the Snowman. Something about it just feels kind of, it's the Great Intelligence again. It's the Paternoster Gang again. Anyways, I turned 25 to the sounds of that man, the mad Glasgow man, knocking out Strax. That's how I turned 25.
What's his name? Archie? Archie, can you knock me out?
I can't remember. I couldn't tell you.
Dong.
Dong.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Connor, what is your funniest episode of Doctor Who?
Funniest episode of Doctor Who of all time. Runaway Bride.
It's very funny.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to say two at the same time, but
It is funny.
it's the funniest, in my opinion.
Funny that both of our funniest
Pockets.
episodes have Catherine Tate in them.
I don't recall Catherine Tate being in The Snowman.
I'm talking about partners in crime.
I don't recall her being in The Name of the Doctor.
I'm talking about partners in crime.
Okay. Why are you saying like that?
I don't know. I'm in
That's
so much.
creep.
I'm in so much pain. Did I tell you? I was going to tell you off air.
No, what?
I had to go to the fucking dentist today.
I didn't know that. Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I'm just dealing with like wisdom teeth coming through, and they're coming through
no.
naturally. I don't have to get them taken out.
Oh,
But
no.
as the person said to me today, she said, "You are so unlucky that your jaw was not 5 millimeters longer." She was like, "If your jaw
My
was
jaw is too long.
the jaw." She was like, if your jaw was 5 millimeters longer, you would not even know that your wisdom teeth were coming through. But it's just the tiniest bit too small that it does hurt. So I do like every 6 months or so get like a little infection, which is just because like the teeth are coming through, which lifts up the gum, which means that little bits of food or bacteria and stuff can get caught in there and cause infections. It happens all the time when your wisdom teeth are coming through. And I've got it sort of worse than ever right now. So usually I just let it slide because it does get better in a couple of days. And it will, but it was worse than ever. And because I'm going to Japan in a week and Christmas is in a few days, I thought there's no way, if this gets worse, there's no way I can get an appointment. So I just thought I'd err on the side of caution and go in. And they've given me some antibiotics and things like that.
You shouldn't drink antibiotics.
Let's go, baby.
Okay.
Let's
go.
go.
Definitely get it sorted before you go to Japan. Because like, how the fuck are you going to go to the dentist in Japan?
Exactly.
That would be hell. Mm-hmm. So yeah, don't risk it. Well, you didn't. So
I didn't. You're telling me to do something that I've already done. Yes. But yeah, a lot of pain. I think I need to take some more painkillers as we speak. It's all coming back.
Antibiotics or painkillers?
I'm taking both at the moment. So
you've got painkillers.
Yeah,
you're on Oxycontin.
Nurofen.
Can you hook a homie up? What, Nurofen?
You want some of that Nurofen high, baby?
Maybe some of that Oxy. That's a joke. Fuck.
Okay, Connor.
I gotta be careful what I say on this thing. That's it. That was a joke, everybody. It was a joke.
Connor.
Yes.
Saint Peter is here.
Yeah.
Your time has come. But not yet.
About time too.
You know me. You died. You passed out. Didn't wake up. Okay. And you know me, Aiden. I'm walking around. Always got a coffin in my back pocket. I'm like, hey, insert mother's name here. Hey, sister. Hey, insert dad's name here. I'm here to pick Connor up. Take him up north. So I throw you into the coffin. But, you're in there, you're a bit bloated from all the beers you had the night before. There's a few beer cans stuck in you. Obviously, I've got to put in your beer bottle cap collection that you've been accumulating over all these years.
I stopped that years ago.
All the little niche bits and bobs. The sonic screwdriver that's broken. The sonic screwdriver I got you. Mm-hmm. Your Genesis of the Daleks DVD that you've never watched. all these bits and bobs. And actually, no, I have to take out the Genesis of the Daleks DVD to make space. Because I then have to say, Connor, there's only room for one Doctor Who DVD.
Yeah.
One Doctor Who DVD to take up north to the Saint Simon Peters of heaven.
That would be season 1, volume 3.
No, it has to be an episode. It can't actually be a DVD. It has to be an episode.
That would be Empty Child Doctor Dancers.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. I know it's a cliche, and everyone knew I was gonna say it, but like I was gonna say Heaven Sent because like it's heaven, but I can't not go away about my baby.
Yeah, fair.
And it's my baby, and I love it.
I'll allow it. Fair and legal.
And what about you, Aiden? What were you gonna pick?
Well, are you gonna rock around my house with a coffin? I mean,
I'll-
we were recording when I died, so
I'll do a bit. Okay.
do a bit. You gotta do a bit. That's what this podcast is. It's a
I
bit.
rock up to the house with a coffin.
You're already here.
I'm
We were
dragging
recording.
it. I'm dragging it because it's heavy. Huh?
Right. We were recording together when I died.
Oh, right. I go home, get a coffin, and then I come in. I'm dragging it because it's heavy.
Before I'm even in it.
I haven't told the family yet because it's a bit distressing knowing their son's died.
Right. Okay. Yep.
I don't want to be here for that. I'll put you in the coffin. I'll knock on the door.
So they'll see you
Run round
leaving.
the corner.
They'll see you walking out with a coffin. And like, kind of, what's that? And you'll get nothing.
They're not home at the time.
Nothing to see here.
Not home at the time.
Okay. All right.
That's the thing. Like, I leave it in the house. I do this. I wait to hear the screams, and then I go, and then I just walk off.
My job here is done.
The job here is done.
Okay.
And what episode do you have with you?
In my coffin.
Did you say Bells of St. John? I'm actually going to leave. Are you insane?
I'm not.
No.
Human nature, family of blood.
All right.
I have to take that with me. I
All
think that's great. I think that's amazing.
Unpredictable. I like that.
Huh?
Unpredictable. I like that.
Is that unpredictable?
For the the answer that you gave, yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah, okay.
Mine was obvious, and I hate that. I hate being obvious.
Yeah, I just think one, if I take the Bells of St. John, I'm only taking one episode up with me. If I take Human Nature, Family of Blood, I get to take 2 episodes up with me. Because it's a 2-parter. More Doctor Who. But also,
Mine's 2 parts as well.
exactly. I'm just saying, why take 1 episode when I can take 2? I think.
Smart.
I don't think there's anything more I can say about that episode. It's got my favourite Doctor Companion duo in there, David and Martha. What more is there to love?
Well, you could bring the 3-parter,
Shut up.
Utopia,
Shut
Sound
up.
of Drums,
Shut up.
Last of the Time Lords.
Yeah, but that versus Human Nature, Family of Blood.
No, it's a joke because you said 2-parter, and I'm naming a 3-parter.
I know. It just wasn't funny.
Oh.
Oh.
Do you want to scrap outside?
Let's go. All right. Saint Simon Connor.
Simon?
Peter. Sorry. There's a church in the area called Simon Peter.
I think I think the old antibiotics have mixed with the booze.
I've gone crazy. And before you tell me to bleep that out, Simon Peter Church actually isn't close to us. It's just somewhere.
It's okay, go to Simon Peter Church and you might run into Aiden doing a funeral.
You might see me there.
Hey, I know this is the wrong place and time, but can I get a photo?
Can you sign my Spotify account voucher?
Would you take a photo if you met someone at work?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Some guy at a funeral just gets a photo of you.
Connor,
Yeah.
for a second, I want you to think that you are the Simon and Peter at the gates letting me in. Mm-hmm. Would you let me in?
Yes, of course.
I'd let you in.
I love you, man. What
With
can
your
I say?
We're off frolicking in Doctor Who heaven, doing our thing.
I'll miss. I tolerated living, but I didn't enjoy it. Maybe it's good I'm in heaven.
Far out.
Do you know that quote from the Doctor? I tolerate the century, but I didn't enjoy it.
No?
From I'm an Earthly Child. I tolerate this century, but I don't enjoy
You
it.
do such a good First Doctor impression.
Oh, dearie me, no. Oh, dearie me, no.
Wouldn't be 200 episodes about having you do that.
That sounded depressing. I'm so happy to be alive.
Is there any little sound bites that we should say? Any gags we should repeat, considering it's our 200th episode celebration?
There was always Aiden trying to get someone to draw him pegging me over the TARDIS.
Which you still can do.
That was interesting.
One of my favourite jokes was we did like a whole bit where we were talking about Carly's crack and Matt Smith reaching into Carly's crack and
The in-betweeners.
and how he has to go into the crack and pull out the TARDIS bit.
Yeah.
But then we're like, surely he just put his hand into the light. He should come out with without an arm.
Yes, because
And
it
being-
would disappear.
Yeah, and his arm would also then have never existed.
Never existed. So he would never
He
realise
should
that it was
always
gone.
have had just one arm.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we did like a funny bit of that once, and that was really funny.
I used to, when we first started, I would play the harmonica heaps.
You did?
And I don't know if you remember, but I would whenever we did the outro, I would smash this
Yeah, you would.
with the ruler.
That sucked.
I would like smack it with the ruler. So
was
like as like a
smashing it.
beat.
Smashing like a heart.
I would do that. I remember just like, filming through Zoom. I think my life has changed massively over the last 200 episodes.
Yeah.
And so is yours.
Has it?
Yeah. Mine hasn't changed in necessarily a good way or a bad way. I'm just saying it's like changed a little bit.
We are different people than we were 200 episodes ago.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I love it and I'm grateful. And I guess it's not necessarily the celebration we were looking for. Maybe on 250 we can do a good like celebration.
Maybe
I'll get the balloons again, and
maybe like 137.
137?
Sorry, 237.
Like the 237 Simpsons Spectacular.
Is that actually 237?
God, I'm drunk. You can tell. I'm like, spectacular.
Okay, guys, that's our show. If anyone is still listening at this point, I'd love it if you could write down below.
Does anyone do that shit?
No, but I'd love to know the guests that you would like us to give this treatment to. You know, who would you like us to do the Who to Be Buried With treatment to?
I do have someone coming on though for a Who to Be Buried With in February of next year,
Which I'm very excited about.
Me too.
Which will be a lot of fun.
And I won't say because if I do say it, it will never happen because that's how it happens.
It's not so much that. It's if you do say they'll get cancelled is our track record. Have we ever said this live on the show before? We were supposed to get the Who Addicts on, and then like a day before we recorded, they got cancelled.
We were that's the thing. So we're going to have the Who Addicts on, and then literally we mentioned it. We were filming on a Thursday. We mentioned it. The episode came out on the Monday, and through the weekend they got cancelled.
And I think I had to cut.
You went back in and re-edited and took out the part where we said we're having the Who Addicts on next week.
Yeah.
I think they're still knocking about though.
I don't want them.
No, but at least we could do it. Like it was planned. Like
we could have had them on.
We had it booked in, and then literally like they got cancelled on the weekend.
Anyways, guys, thank you very much.
Funny story, hey?
For 200 episodes of listening to us. If you're new or old, thank you very much. Thank you to Vinny, Dylan, and Jacob. I want to say some of our oldest listeners who have been there from the start. Big thank you to Crispy and Josh.
Dan Peters as well.
Dan Peters, that's an old school.
Dan Peters, Jacob.
I said Jacob.
Oh fuck me.
Too many to mention, and there's a lot of people in recent times that have come in and started really getting active in the comment section and stuff, which has been really great to hear and talk to you guys. So
even Doug, who hated Xavier, the poor guy.
Xavier just wanted to talk about Doctor Who. And
poor man. Poor
man.
Xavier.
All right, Connor, thank you for 200 episodes.
Thank you.
It's
A Doug and Connor's podcast. Oh yeah,
we're doing 200 episodes.
Okay,
doing 200 episodes.
Okay.
Next week, we'll be ranking Series 1.
Next week on the 50% Doctor Who podcast.
You gotta sack Russell T Davies, sack Julie Gardner, sack Phil Collinson, sack Jane Tranter.
Was Jane in season 1?
I think so.
And she's back as well?
She's back.
And then I'll come back